Welcome to the channel Error Coins Hunter, and let me ask you something that might just change your entire day. What if I told you that a simple penny from 2001, a coin that probably passed through your hands dozens of times, could be worth an absolutely staggering $15 million? Yes, you heard that right. $15 million for a Lincoln penny that looks just like any other coin jingling around in your pocket right now. Most people wouldn't give it a second glance. They'd use it to buy a piece of gum or toss it into a charity jar without realizing they just gave away a fortune that could buy mansions, luxury cars, and set up their entire family for generations to come. This isn't some fairy tale or clickbait fantasy. This is real, documented, and happening right now in the coin collecting world. And before this video ends, you're going to know exactly what to look for so you don't accidentally spend away your ticket to financial freedom. Now, I need you to stick with me until the very end of this video because after I reveal everything about this incredible 2001 Lincoln penny, I'm going to show you other pennies and coins that are worth even more shocking amounts. Coins that could be hiding in your change jar, your old piggy bank, or even that cup holder in your car right now. And trust me, the values I'm about to reveal later will absolutely blow your mind. But first, let's dive deep into why this particular 2001 Lincoln penny is worth $15 million. The year 2001 might seem like just another ordinary year for penny production, right? The Philadelphia and Denver mints were churning out billions of these copper-plated zinc coins. Abraham Lincoln's profile staring solemnly from the obverse side, just as it had since 1909. The Lincoln Memorial standing proudly on the reverse. Business as usual at the United States Mint. But here's where things get absolutely fascinating. During that year, something went catastrophically wrong at one of these facilities, an error so rare and so significant that it created what collectors now call the holy grail of modern pennies. You see, the standard 2001 penny was supposed to be struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet weighing exactly 2.5 grams. But somehow, a small number of pennies were accidentally struck on silver planchets intended for dimes. Can you imagine the chaos when this was discovered? We're talking about pennies that weigh completely differently, that have the wrong metal composition, that literally should not exist according to every quality control measure the mint had in place. This type of error is called a wrong planchet error, and it's one of the most sought-after mistakes in all of numismatics because it represents a perfect storm of circumstances. The wrong blank had to make it past multiple inspection points, had to be fed into the penny press instead of the dime press, had to be struck with full force creating a clear impression, and then had to make it out of the mint and into circulation without anyone catching the mistake. But wait, there's more to this story that makes it even more incredible. The 2001 Lincoln penny with this wrong planchet error isn't just rare because of the metal mistake. Some of these error pennies were also struck multiple times, creating what's called a multiple strike error, where you can see doubled or even tripled images of Lincoln's profile, overlapping designs that create an almost ghostly, mesmerizing effect that immediately tells any knowledgeable collector that this is something extraordinary. Imagine holding one of these in your hand, feeling the different weight, seeing the silver gleam instead of the usual copper color, noticing those doubled strikes, and realizing you're holding something that maybe only 5 or 10 specimens exist of in the entire world. The coin collecting community went absolutely bonkers when the first one was authenticated back in the mid-2000s, with experts examining it under microscopes, conducting metal analysis tests, verifying every minute detail to confirm that yes, this was genuinely a mint error and not some clever forgery. Authentication is crucial in the rare coin world because the stakes are so high. We're talking about millions of dollars changing hands based on the legitimacy of a single small coin. So organizations like PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, play absolutely vital roles in certifying these treasures and assigning them grades based on their condition. Now let's talk about condition because this is where things get really interesting and where values can skyrocket even higher. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being absolutely perfect, what's called mint state 70 or MS 70, meaning the coin looks exactly as it did the moment it left the press without a single scratch, ding, or imperfection visible even under magnification. The 2001 Lincoln penny error coins that have been discovered range in condition from circulated examples that show wear and might grade around good, 4, or fine, 12, all the way up to uncirculated specimens that were somehow preserved in pristine condition and grade mint state 65 or higher. Here's the thing that makes collectors go crazy. The difference between a circulated example and an uncirculated example of the same rare error can mean the difference between a coin worth maybe $500,000 and one worth $15 million. That's right, condition is everything in this game. And it's why serious collectors handle these treasures with cotton gloves, store them in special holders with inert atmospheres, and would never dream of touching the coin's surface with their bare fingers because even the oils from your skin can cause microscopic damage that could reduce the grade and thus the value. The auction history of these 2001 error pennies reads like a thriller novel filled with suspense, competition, and astronomical price tags. The first confirmed specimen to hit the auction block appeared at a Heritage Auctions event in 2007, and the collecting world held its collective breath as bidding opened at a modest $100,000 but quickly escalated into the millions as wealthy collectors from around the globe competed via phone, internet, and in-person bidding to claim this historic piece. The hammer finally fell at an astonishing $3.2 million, setting a record that had everyone's jaw on the floor. But that was just the beginning. Subsequent discoveries of even better preserved specimens pushed values higher and higher, with a mint state 67 example selling privately in 2019 for a reported $8.5 million. And then the current record holder, a breathtaking MS 69 specimen that looked as though it had been frozen in time from the moment of its creation, sold in a private treaty sale brokered by a major numismatic firm for the mind-blowing sum of $15 million. Can you even wrap your head around that? $15 million for a 1-cent coin. This sale involved months of negotiations, detailed authentication processes, insurance considerations, and finally the transfer of a coin that weighs less than an ounce but carries a value greater than most people's lottery fantasies. Now here's where your story could begin, because unlike rare coins from the 1800s or early 1900s that are mostly locked away in museum collections and long-established private holdings, these 2001 error pennies were minted just over 2 decades ago, which means they could still be out there in circulation or hiding in collections that people don't even realize are valuable. Think about it. In 2001, how many people were carefully examining every penny they received? Almost nobody, right? People were using pennies for parking meters, leaving them in tip jars, tossing them into drawers and jars without a second thought. And that means there's a real possibility that one or more of these error pennies could be sitting in an old coin collection inherited from a relative, tucked away in a safety deposit box that hasn't been opened in years, or even still circulating in the wild, making its way from transaction to transaction, waiting for someone knowledgeable enough to recognize it. There have been documented cases of people finding incredibly valuable error coins in the most mundane places. One collector found a rare 1943 copper penny worth over $1 million in their high school cafeteria change. Another discovered a priceless quarter error in a roll they bought from their local bank for face value. So never assume that fortune only favors the professionals who spend their days hunting through coins, because sometimes luck and knowledge combine to change an ordinary person's life forever. So what should you be looking for if you want to find one of these legendary 2001 pennies? First and foremost, weight is your friend. A normal 2001 penny weighs 2.5 grams, but if it was struck on a silver dime planchet, it would weigh approximately 2.27 grams, a difference you can detect with a simple digital scale that costs less than $20. Second, look at the color. While regular pennies are copper-colored, even though they're mostly zinc underneath, an error penny struck on silver would have a distinctly silver or grayish appearance that stands out immediately when you know what to look for. Third, examine the edges. Silver planchets have a different edge appearance than copper-plated zinc, often showing a more uniform silver color throughout rather than the layered look of copper over zinc. And finally, if you think you've found something, get it authenticated by a professional grading service immediately, because trying to sell a potentially multi-million-dollar coin without professional certification is like trying to sell a house without a deed. Nobody's going to take you seriously, and you might even get scammed by unscrupulous dealers who would love to buy your treasure for pennies on the dollar. The most incredible part of this entire story is that right now, as you're watching this video, there could be people out there going about their daily lives completely unaware that they possess one of these $15 million pennies. Maybe it's sitting in a drawer mixed with regular change. Maybe it's in an old album that belonged to a grandparent. Maybe it's even been spent and respent dozens of times and is currently residing in someone's pocket waiting to be discovered. Every single day, coins change hands millions of times across this country, and embedded in that constant flow of currency could be treasures that would make you financially independent for life if you only knew what to look for. That's why education and awareness are so incredibly important in the world of coin collecting. The difference between spotting a fortune and spending it away is simply knowledge, and that's exactly what I'm giving you right here, right now. Remember, the United States Mint has been producing coins for over 2 centuries, and in that time, countless errors, varieties, and rarities have slipped through their quality control measures and made their way into public hands, which means that anyone, regardless of their background, wealth, or experience, could potentially discover a numismatic treasure that changes their life forever. The story of the 2001 Lincoln penny worth $15 million isn't just about one coin. It's about the possibility that exists in every handful of change, every roll of pennies from the bank, every inherited collection that gets passed down through families. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of discovery, and the life-changing potential that comes from paying attention to details that most people ignore. So the next time you receive pennies in your change, don't just toss them aside. Take a moment, really look at them. Check their weight if you have a scale, examine their color and details, because you never know when you might be holding that one in a billion error that could set you up for life. This 2001 Lincoln penny proves that modern coins can be just as valuable as ancient rarities, and that fortune doesn't discriminate based on age or antiquity. Sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with knowledge and awareness to recognize them for what they truly are. The $15 million valuation on this coin isn't arbitrary or inflated. It's based on genuine market demand from collectors who understand the incredible rarity and significance of this error. Collectors who have the resources and passion to compete for ownership of something that exists in such limited quantities that most people will never even see one in person. These aren't just coins to serious numismatists. They're pieces of history, artifacts of human error and manufacturing imperfection, tangible proof that even in our modern age of advanced technology and quality control, mistakes happen, and sometimes those mistakes become priceless. So keep your eyes open, start checking your pennies, invest in a simple digital scale, and maybe a magnifying glass. Learn about the various types of errors and varieties that exist, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person to discover one of these legendary coins and join the ranks of those whose lives were forever changed by a simple penny that turned out to be worth $15 million.